Hi, my name is Alyssa and I am here from partyproductsusa.com and nwiparty.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a buffet column. So a buffet column is a design that's made with the larger 11 or 12-inch balloons, but it's not very tall, so it's designed specifically to just sit on something like a candy table or a gift table. So it's too big to be a centerpiece, but large enough to be a focal piece. So they're really beautiful. So we're going to be showing you how to do two different types of columns just really quick. So we will do a Minnie Mouse column and we will do a Frozen column just to go through those. So when you make your column, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that everything is going to be sized correctly, because that's the most important part in making sure that your job looks like it's really well done. When the balloons aren't the same size, then it looks amateur, and you don't want that. You want to look like professionals. So our bottom row of balloons is going to be filled to 8 inches. So what you want to do is take your measuring tape or ruler, and you're going to place two objects 8 inches apart. Just like so. Then we're going to take our bottom row of balloons, and this will be 4 different balloons. I'm going to fill with an air compressor today, but you could also fill it with a hand pump or by mouth. But any way that you do it is fine, just the other two methods take a little bit longer. Whenever you use a pump, you want to make sure that it's a cool air pump, and that means that it's not going to put off a lot of heat. You're going to overinflate, then you're going to slide it between your two objects, and then pull it back towards you, and then tie it off. We're going to do that with our second row. This time, we're going to tie it directly to the other balloon. Now, when you have two balloons tied together, that is what we like to call a duplet. Nice and tight. Together. Nice and tight. So we have two duplets. We're going to take the centers where the nozzles are. We're going to twist them together. This forms what we like to call a quad. And we're going to set that down. Now we're going to take a second row of balloons. In this case, I filled those balloons to 6 inches, and I already created my quad just to save time. We're going to take that, and we're going to take our nozzle, and we're going to tie it to the nozzle of the other balloon. We're just tying the two rows together. Like so. And then you want to nestle the balloons in between the others. So we have our two here, and these sit right in between in the neck. So again, we have an 8-inch and a 6-inch. Now, depending on how big your table is, you could make these to larger sizes. You could fill it up to 10 and 8, or 8 and 6, or even 12 and 10. But 12 is really the biggest that you could go before it's going to explode. So now we're going to take our jumbo foil balloon. Now, when you fill your foil balloon, you could use either a hand pump, a straw, or your inflator. If you try to do this with a hand pump, it's going to take forever. So you can see that I slide it right inside the valve that's at the bottom and just inflate it. Whenever I inflate foil balloons, always make sure that you use a single action, not a double action, so that you don't blow the valve. That's going to take a long time, so we're not going to do that. You can also do it with a straw, but again, that's going to take a long time, so we're not going to do that either. So we're going to put it nice and gently on the tip of our air inflator. And then turn it on. So when you put it on the tip, one thing that you want to make sure of is that you have the valve facing upwards, because if you have it laying down like this, then it could blow through it and ruin the balloon. So I have it just like that. Nice enough. to make sure that you don't overinflate it because that could pop the balloon. So we got about 90% of the way, and now we're going to use a straw to inflate it the rest of the way, which I accidentally left up there, so don't mind me. So I'm going to put this into the valve, just like so, and then just blow. That made it nice and tight, sit still all the way. Now, for this design, you don't need to have lift, so you can air fill any balloon and put it on top. If it's something that does have like a very pointed edge, then you might want to use a little bit of helium, but all of the designs that we sell can be made with 100% air. All that you want to do is just pull it down so that it's super tight inside, because if you don't leave it tight, then it's going to just wobble and then it could tip. So the more you put it in between this row of balloons, then the better off you're going to be. That's what we are going to do. Is we are going to take the nozzle of the red balloon. We are going to wrap it around and tie it to the balloon. So it's just tied in a knot, just like that. And then it's going to sit. So if you need to tighten it up at all, then you take the nozzle, and you just weave it through your balloons. That will tighten it up so that it sits nice and straight. So you notice that it's still wobbling all over a little bit. The reason why is because this does not yet have a weight. So what we're going to do is put on our water balloon weight. I already made this, and you can do a sand weight if you know how to create those instead. But I used one of the 12-inch balloons, and since these are a very good balloon, it's not going to pop on you. So it's a good balloon, not going to break. And you make it to about the size of a little bit smaller than probably about a baseball. So I'm going to take this, take the nozzle. We're going to just slide it in between your bottom row of balloons. I'm going to twist it around. And then I'm going to tie it to the row of red balloons so it's very tight. Just right there. I just tied it directly to the balloons. So now the design is going to sit and be nice and firm on top of your table. So you have your beautiful design already made for a buffet column. So now let's do one for a double stuff. So for the Frozen balloon, what I did is I took my two rows, and we're going to use a purple and a blue. And then this balloon is called a bubble balloon, and the bubble balloons are made of a stretchy plastic. So we have bubbles and orbs, and those blow up to being a round shape, like a beach ball, instead of being just your regular foil shape. So, and these are very, very pretty. They're usually clear, so you can see through them. And they have a different picture printed on each side, instead of being the same on each side like the Minnie Mouse balloon. So again, we're going to take this, and this time we're going to size it a little bit bigger so you can see what that'll look like. So we're going to do our first row at 10 inches. Whoops, so set to 10. And now we're going to inflate. For this one, we're going to do the purple on the bottom, and then we're going to do the blue on the second row. Squeeze and pull through. You want to straighten it up, because again, making sure that they're the same size is the most critical part of this design. lose it, just a little bit more air. Since these balloons aren't inflated all the way, you don't have to worry where they're not going to pop on you. So we have our 2 sets, our duplet, and we turn it into a quad. You can see this is a lot larger than the other one was. That we're going to fill to 8 inches. So we're going to move in one of our boxes to 8. This is another design that's going to last you for several weeks. It's great because you have plenty of time to make it before your party. I have my 2 duplets, balloons that are sized the same, this pretty little snowflake pattern. And then I'm going to twist it together. So let's move this out of the way. And I dropped my balloon, so I'm going to need 1 second to grab that. Rolled away. Okay, so I have my balloon. You see these are pretty resilient because if it rolls all the way across the room, it's not going to pop. This time I'm going to show you a second way to do it, where we're going to use one of the long skinny balloons, also called a 160. You could also tie it into the top row again, if you prefer to do it that way. Or take this long skinny balloon and just make a knot. This way you need to build backwards, so it's a little bit harder. So I'm going to wind it through and just tie it in nice and tight, just like that. My other row. Grab my 2 ends. Again. Tie it in, just like that. And then you would take your water weight and put it underneath to secure. So you could see that this design is a little bit shorter than the other one because typically the bubbles and orbs are a little bit smaller, whereas these are about 22 inches and these are 36 inches. So here you can see a nice side-by-side comparison of the 2 designs. Okay, so thank you very much for watching today. And if you have any questions, please send me an email to sales@partyproductsusa.com and I'll go ahead and get back to you usually within 24 hours. So thank you so much for watching and hope to see you again real soon. Bye. This is so pretty.